Imagine finding your dream home in Las Vegas only to discover that hidden last-minute costs push you beyond your budget. Let's dive into what these costs are and what you can do to make sure that doesn't happen to you. When considering moving to Las Vegas, it's important to look at all of the costs that can happen during the transaction and even after. Closing costs typically during the transaction include escrow fees, title fees, loan origination and lender fees, as well as home inspection costs. In Las Vegas, closing costs have been rising for buyers, and this is due to two reasons. Number one, our values have been increasing for the last 10 years. Many of the closing costs a buyer pays are based on sales price. As our sales price have increased, obviously the closing costs have increased for buyers too. And the second reason for the higher closing costs is rising interest rates. So I'm seeing many buyers pay points to buy down the interest rate, which is also increasing some of the closing costs. Let's start with some of the typical fees. First off, loan fees. There's a typical loan origination fee, which is somewhere around 0.5% to 1% of the loan amount. Most lenders charge this fee, and then you'll find there's like a document fee and a couple other fees that they charge as well. For example, on a $300,000 loan, you'll find the loan origination fee somewhere around $1,500 to $3,000. Next up is appraisal fee. So most lenders will require an appraisal to be completed as part of the loan process. Appraisal generally costs somewhere around $500 to $1,000. Another fee is escrow costs. In Las Vegas, we do not use attorneys to close the transaction. We use escrow companies. So there's an escrow fee, which commonly in Las Vegas is split 50-50. 50% paid by the buyer, 50% paid by the seller. The escrow fee is based on sales price, so the higher the sales price, the more expensive that fee will be. Typically it ranges from about $500 to about $2,500 for each party. Another cost is title insurance. Title insurance protects the buyers for unexpected problems on title. And I have seen some things pop up after close of escrow where maybe something wasn't disclosed and causes what's called a cloud on title. This insurance policy protects the buyer from close of escrow forward should something unexpected pop up. Next is home inspection costs. I highly recommend every buyer to get a home inspection. This is so important. There's usually a due diligence period, and commonly in Las Vegas that's somewhere between 7 to 14 days. This is the time frame a buyer can get a home inspection, and a normal inspection is around $500 to $1,000. That is covering your typical home inspector, and many home inspectors will also include a re-inspection fee. If you want to have someone else come out, like a pool company or a septic tank company, there could be an additional inspection. Overall, a general rule of thumb is that the buyer's closing costs are around 3% of the sales price. Now, this can obviously vary. If your loan amount is significantly lower than the sales price, then that 3% might be less, or if you're doing a VA loan with a VA fee, then the 3% could actually be slightly more. Also, if you're buying down the interest rate, then that round figure of 3% may be slightly more as well. Let's talk about commission. So previously, the seller normally paid for the buyer's agent commission. Things have changed recently, and now the buyer will have to sign a buyer's brokerage and be responsible for the buyer's agent commission. Now, this is negotiable, and our new contract has a spot where the buyer can request the seller to pay for the buyer's agent commission, but just keep in mind there may be a BAC fee, which is typically $350 to $1,000. And if the seller is not willing to pay some or all of the buyer's agent commission, then that could definitely be another fee that the buyer could be responsible for at close of escrow. Make sure you're reviewing any paperwork you sign with your buyer's agent. Another thing to keep in mind is property tax. So a lot of times a property tax will be assessed on the current value, and then once the sales price closes escrow, if it's significantly higher, that amount can be reassessed. We see this a lot with new home sales, or possibly a property that hasn't had a recent sale in 20 years. And when it really comes into effect is about a year after you've been in the home. You'll get a bill from your lender saying, hey, your property tax is more than we thought. There's an amount that needs to be paid up to bring you current, and now your mortgage payment is going to go up. I have a question for you. How much do you think property taxes affect the long-term affordability of the home? I'd love to hear your perspective. Please comment below. Now let's talk about HOA fees. HOA fees are homeowners association fees. These fees typically cover common areas like a gate or a guard gate, or even landscaping, community pools, those kind of things. HOA fees are typically around $100 to $300, and on luxury communities like guard gated communities, we can see them $500 or more. Also on condominium or high rises where they cover utility bills such as the water bill, then they could be significantly more. I've seen some HOAs that have 3 HOAs for some condos. So keep in mind there may be a master plan community which has its own fee, and then a couple of subs. You really want to make sure you're being aware of all the HOA fees. Another thing to keep in mind is the HOA may place an assessment on the home. Right now, my neighborhood is changing all the grass out in all of the community spaces to more desert-friendly landscaping. And of course, there's a big cost to that, which is being assessed on all the homeowners within the community. This could be a huge expense for the individual homeowner, specifically if you aren't planning on it in advance. Some homeowners associations also charge a new member fee. This is very common in many of the Sun City communities, and in Sun City Anthem, it's 1/3 of 1% of the sales price. So if the home is $300,000, that's $1,000, and many of the homes are $600,000 plus. So that could easily be several $1,000s. It is negotiable on who pays the new member fee, but I commonly see many sellers requesting the buyer to pay that fee. You just want to be aware of it and plan on it as part of your closing costs. If you're new to my channel, hi there, Leslie Carver here, your expert guide in the world of real estate with a special focus on Henderson and Anthem. I'm here to offer advice, insights, and updates when it comes to buying or selling real estate in Las Vegas. Please remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you get notified when a new video is released. Let's keep going. Now on to utility costs. So we see a lot of higher utility costs recently in Las Vegas due to our hot weather, specifically water and power bills. Water rates vary depending on the size of the home and the usage. Typically, our water bills are around $100 to $300 a month for the average household. Electricity bills can be very high, specifically during our hot summer months. Our average power bill is around $100 to $150 a month, but during the summer months, it could easily be $500 or more per month. This all depends on the efficiency of your air conditioning and the home in general. Speaking of efficiency, it's so important that you have your home inspector check the HVAC units. Many of the homes, specifically if the home is 20 years or older, could have an original HVAC that may need replacing in the future. These days, it could be very expensive. I've had homeowners get new HVAC for $5,000 on up to $25,000. That's a huge expense if you're not planning on replacing an AC in the near future. Additionally, when you're looking at homes, consider homes that are desert-friendly landscaping, or if there is a lot of grass on the property, take into consideration that you may want to change that grass out to desert landscaping in the future. In fact, we just replaced our front yard landscaping to a more friendly desert landscaping, and it was a significant cost. The good news news is that the Las Vegas Water Company is allowing for a credit of $5 per square foot, which can definitely help in that cost. You can participate in it, and just keep in mind though that they will put an easement on title for the portion that you participated in the plan. Let's take a quick poll on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most important. How important is having energy saving features in your home to maintain utility costs? Vote in the comments below. While maintenance and repair items are common during buying a home, being proactive on having the home inspection and maintaining the home once you own it can make a big difference on managing these expenses. I also recommend obtaining a home warranty. A home warranty covers electrical, plumbing, appliances from close of escrow for a year. The cost is usually around $500 to $1,000, and it's negotiable. I really see where sellers pay for a home warranty maybe 70% of the time, and if they're not willing to do so, I recommend the buyer pay for one. It can really help with some of these unexpected costs. Another thing to keep in mind is having a rainy day expense can help when you have unexpected costs come up. I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan, and he talks about having an emergency fund. Most of the experts like Dave Ramsey recommend having 3 to 6 months of living expenses and emergency fund available. That way, if something comes up that is unexpected, you're not charging credit cards or finding it hard to pay other expenses. If you don't have an emergency fund once you close escrow, that should be your focus. Immediately putting money aside so that you have funds available for unexpected costs. I hope this video helps you understand some of the closing costs and unexpected costs that happen when purchasing a home in Las Vegas. For more videos about real estate in Las Vegas and Henderson, please make sure to check out one of the other videos on your screen. I appreciate you for watching and see you on the next one.